Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter here in the workshop making shavings. And look at that. The number 3 is spitting out straight, flat shavings. That makes a nice little bed to put your plane down on. So we're not going to solve any woodworking problems today. But I thought I'd share something that's on my mind. And that is something that we were not taught in grade school. Whoops. See, we got a little dent there. We have a couple of dents here too. I'm going to have to steam them out. I'm going to steam that one out as well. So back in grade school, we were taught reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of the hickory stick. That's an old nursery rhyme. Shows you my age. Well, don't really want to take too much off here if I don't have to. There is something called residual income. I really want to kind of leave this here, but take some of that off. Leave that. Because this here is the joint where it goes together. So residual income. What is residual income, Walter? Well, residual income is just as the name sounds. It's income that resides or continues to happen, exists, even after you stop working. Now, YouTube used to be, and technically still is, designed in such a way that if you do it right, people will watch your videos over and over and over from now into infinity, and you can get residual income from that. However, things have changed. When I first started with YouTube, I had one video, and I would make $100 or more per month from that one video. And that went on for years. And I added a second video and a third video, and it went on. Well, YouTube was then sold to Google. And then they began to look at YouTube not as a place for content creators only, but for a place for them to bring in advertisers. And slowly, ever so slowly, the amount of money a content creator would get each month went down and down and down and down for each of their videos. So, YouTube aside, what would be another example of residual income? Beautiful. So if you write a book, the book goes up for sale, you get a spike in sales, and then depending on how interesting the book is, it drops off over and over and over and over years down the road. But people still buy your book. So in that regard, you are only as good as your last book. Okay, it's a little. I got two spots here where there must have been a knot or something at one time. I got reversing grain there. It's going to be on the bottom. No one's going to see it. But we're going to try to clean that up a little bit. So another example would be music. That better or worse? That's a little bit better. You write a song, people like the song, they'll buy your record or pay to listen to your song, go to concerts, over and over and over. All right. That one's done. Real estate. If you have a house, an apartment building, commercial property, any form of real estate. Oh, which way is it going? I think it's going this way, but I'm not sure. If you have an apartment building, and let's say it's in a good location, high demand, you probably can keep your apartments or your retail space rented, and that would bring you income over and over and over and over and over. That's residual income. It's also an investment. I think I spoke about it once before, but when I had my baseball bat business, it was my intention to grow it and then sell it, or basically give it to the employees. But retain some form of royalty. That would be residual income. Now, investments are different. They're not technically residual income, but they can offer you an income stream. So if you had stock, bonds, precious metals, those are investments that you hang on to in case you ever need them. It's not really income. They only become income when you sell them. I think I got reversing grain here. No, it's not reversing. So let me know if someone in your life ever took time out to teach you about residual income. And if it's working for you. I was never taught, so therefore I don't have. Don't get me wrong, we were taught to save, work hard, and put money away for that inevitable rainy day. So these are coming out pretty good. Plane is set up just about perfect. Just about perfect. See, all you want to do is take off that last bit of grime, pencil marks, perhaps a scribe mark. If there's any dents or dings, you deal with it. Now that definitely did something there. So that's about it for this one. So glad you could be here today. Means a lot to me. This face is bothering me, and it's not a face that is joinery critical. But we're going to call that good. Like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your workshop and think about, do you have residual income? And if not, can you create some? Walter out.